All right, so this is my 2011 Ford Fiesta, and I want to change the front brakes on this. This has disc brakes, and they're probably kind of borderline. It's going in for inspection in a couple of days, and I just wanted to make sure that everything is good and it passes inspection. So the brake kit that I bought that has rotors, pads, and the hardware really only cost about $75, so it's not worth it. I'm just want to change them and make sure it's good to go. All right, so let's get the wheel off and get started. All right, the first thing we want to take off is the caliper, and there are two bolts that hold that on, one here and one down here. They are 12mm bolts, and you may need a wrench to hold this nut steady, because when you unscrew this and loosen it, it may spin, and then you need a wrench to hold that with. I don't have one that's like a box end wrench that's the right size. An adjustable wrench seems to work just fine. You're not gonna, once it's loose, you're not gonna have to put a lot of torque on that. So let's go ahead and loosen this. Let's see. Yeah, going the wrong way. All right, mine's not spinning, so I'm able to just take the bolt out. All right, let's do the bottom one. Now that one's spinning, so I'm going to need to put a wrench on there to hold it. All right, now you can pull the caliper off. You need something to kind of hang it. So we're going to hang it up on the spring here, but I can pull this off. Let's see. Yeah. But you don't want to let it. Come on. There we go. But you don't want to just let it dangle by the hose, by the brake line. So I'm going to get something to hang it up here, because I could just let it sit like this, but it would. I need to get this rotor off, so it's in the way. There we go. Just got a bungee cord. And we're just going to support that out of the way. All right. So these brake pads, actually, you can just remove, and you can see they still have the line on them. They're not completely worn out. But, they were getting down there. And with rough rotors like this, they were probably going to wear down pretty fast. Okay, now we want to get the caliper bracket out. And that also has two bolts. All right, so we have these two bolts, one here and one up here, that hold on the caliper brackets. They are 15mm bolts. So we need to get them out of the way. Let's see. No, I need a bigger. Okay. There we go. That one's moving. All right, let's try this bottom one again. There we go. All right, so and then we need to get these the brake hardware out. They just pop out. So if yours are rusty, you can take a file and clean up these grooves a little bit. These are actually in fairly decent shape, so I'm just going to go with them as they are. All right, and we need to get this rotor off. What are the odds that that's going to come off easily? So right now, there's nothing holding it on, probably except for the rust around here. There is a threaded hole, so if I'm going to try and clean this up, and if I can't work it off, then I will use this bolt hole and try and push it out. Alright, that rust actually came off of there pretty easily, but I still don't think this is going to budge. Nope, I'm going to try and put the bolt in there, see if I can push it off. Alright, here's the nice new shiny rotor, and I'm going to put it on backwards first because I'm going to spray it off. Okay, flip it over. Spray this side. All right, before I put the rotor on, I'm going to put some anti-seize around there to hopefully protect it from rusting out a little bit. Okay. All right, so in the caliper bracket, there's two pins that slide. So this one's not sliding very much. So I'm going to take this out and you just pull that rubber collar down. You take it out. And I'm going to use some of the brake cleaner and I'm going to spray this off. Okay. All right, and oops. So wipe it off with a paper towel. Okay, that's nice and clean. And I'm gonna spray some of the grease out of the hole in here too. All right, and then I'm gonna pull this other one out. All right, and I'm gonna clean this off. Let's see. All right, while I'm waiting for that to dry, so I'm going to use some of this CRC brake grease, and I'm going to just put some where these metal clips go. So on this bracket, they go in this groove here. And this will hopefully keep down any noise from vibration. So I'm just putting some grease in these grooves. Okay. So hopefully keep the rust down, keep the vibration noise down. Okay. All right, and then we just have our new hardware, and it just fits right in. Just put it back in there. These slide into those channels. Boom. Okay. All right, and then the brake pads will slide on these in these grooves as they wear. Come on. All right, I'll do the other one. Okay. All right, so now for these pins, I'm also going to put a little bit of brake grease on there, and you just want to put it on the sides. You don't want to put it on the end, because then it won't compress properly. All right. Is this the right one? I think so. All right, that one's in place. Okay. All right, and then we have the other one. Okay. Okay, and you just want to make sure that these move nice and smooth. All right, so I'm going to put the caliper bracket back on, but I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize. There's the anti-seize on these on the bolts for the back, so that when somebody wants to take them out, that they're not all rusted shut. And I'm not even, you're just going to put some on, and really when you turn the bolt in, oops, you know what, I should put this on the tip. And when you turn the bolt in, that'll spread it across the threads. Okay, so let's see if we can get this lined up. So that's snug. Then we need to get the torque wrench and torque them to 50 pounds. Torque the bottom one. There it goes. Let's torque the top one. Come on. There you go. There it goes. All right, now I can put the brake pad in here. So I'm going to grab these new brake pads. Okay. And which way do they go? So, and these you can just fit in, kind of put them in this way. And then, oops. There we go. And they'll just pivot into place. Oops. Can't see. There we go. It would help if I could see what I'm doing. There it is. Okay. That's in. All right, now we can do the outside here. All right, so now on the outside, we can just, again, fit the tabs in. All right, and we're just going to turn, twist it a little bit, and then press it in. There it goes, right into place. All right, now for the caliper, you know, you can't just, you've got thicker pads here, so you can't just put this caliper back on, it won't fit. So you have this piston, and that needs to be compressed back down. So what you can do is you can use one of the old brake pads, and you just put that in there, and we can just use a C-clamp to compress it. And you just want to compress that in until that's flush, which it is. All right, loosen this. And take the old pad out. All right, so the edge of this piston is a little bit rusty. I'm gonna just clean it up a little bit. All right, and then before I put it on the pads, so I'm gonna put a little more brake grease around the edge of the piston, because that's what comes in contact with the pad. And I want to try and minimize vibration and cut down on, you know, rust if I can. Okay, and then some on these fingers on the other side. Now it should fit on. Perfect. Push that in. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we can put the two bolts back in. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on there. And we're going to get this in. Start this one. Okay. All right. Start the lower one. And now these bolts only get torqued down to 12 pounds. So not very tight. And again, you want to make sure that these aren't turning. If they're turning, you're going to need a wrench to hold them in place while you're tightening. That's it. That's 12. That's it. All right, 100 foot-pounds. All right, so the driver's side is done. We just need to go around and do the passenger side. And then once you're complete, because you've compressed the pistons for the calipers, make sure that you get in and you pump up the brakes so that those calipers get into position so that they're ready to use immediately. So do that before you go out and drive anywhere. All right, so if you got something out of this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to help out this channel, please consider subscribing or becoming a member by clicking the join button below. Thanks for watching. Take care.